What's going on, guys? Steven with Juked here, and with VCT Masters Berlin now in the rear view mirror, it is time to take a look at the storylines that have changed from before the event to after the event, the things that we learned, and more. So let's talk VCT Masters Berlin. And we'll kick things off with one of the biggest storylines coming out of VCT Masters Berlin, and that is the fall of Sentinels. Heading into the event, they were considered the best team in the world, and rightfully so, having not only dominated North America, but also won VCT Masters in Iceland. Kicking things off in a match against G2, they were handed their first ever map loss on LAN. However, they still walked away victorious, and so while, yes, a streak was broken, there was still a lot of positive. That, however, didn't last, as after another victory in the next round, they would face G2 again. Although it was just a seeding match, they would ultimately fall 2-0, which would lead them to get their first ever series loss on LAN. Sentinels would manage to bounce back with a 2-1 win over F4Q, once again taking a map loss before moving into the playoffs, where they had been seeded against Envy, another top North American side. And what many considered an upset, it was El Diablo, aka Ye, and Envy to walk away with a 2-0 sweep of Sentinels, making themselves now considered the best team internationally out of North America. There's still hope for Sentinels to bounce back and take a victory at Champions. However, at this point, there's much more doubt than there was, and the enemy teams have now found out Sentinels do bleed. Another major storyline coming out of VCT Masters Berlin, but not exactly specific to the event, is the strength of Jett as an agent. Having an 85% pick rate should let you know that, well, she's quite useful no matter who's playing and on what map. The massive impact she can have is mostly due to the ability of her to use the operator most optimally, and that is because of her movement abilities, which allow her to take peeks that other characters simply cannot, and also avoid the repercussions. She did just receive a nerf earlier today, but it didn't exactly touch her movement abilities in any way, shape, or form, so it'll be very interesting to see what she's capable of and how much she is picked now that she did see a smoke removed and her knives not working quite as strong. At this point, Jett still one of, if not the best character in the game, and one that not only community members but professionals have also requested see a nerf to her movement. We couldn't talk about the storylines coming out of VCT Masters Berlin without discussing Vision Strikers, who, despite having little practice against competition outside of their region, had some great showings. Vision Strikers managed a 2-0 ascend in Paper Rex before taking Gambit, the eventual champions, to all three maps, although Gambit's wins were relatively one-sided with a 13-2, I believe, thrown in there. With more international competition under their belt, Vision Strikers have the talent to be deadly at champions, and they are not a team to be looked over, and I think several teams learned that in Berlin. EMEA's conquering of the throne is one we can't go by without discussing, as NA were the favorites going in and looked to be off to a hot start. We can in particular talk about how 100 Thieves actually defeated Gambit, the only team to do so throughout the entire event. But Gambit came alive and G2 handed Sentinels their first loss, showcasing that EMEA is here to stay and here to game. Gambit did 13-0 a team of G2's caliber, which was the first real dawning moment of holy cow, Gambit is the real deal, and then carried that into the match against Envy, where they pulled off the clean sweep 3-0. Gambit are the real deal, and members of their team claim that they are actually only about 60% capacity at this point, so things are looking scary. With North America and EMEA now having split the last two international LAN competitions with a 1-1 record between the two, things just got a lot more interesting heading into Champions. And finally, we have to talk about Envy taking the North American crown. Not only did they make it to the grand finals, but they did so by pulling off a clean sweep over Sentinels, who are considered the best team in the world and certainly the best in North America heading into that event. This is largely due to not only Ye, their latest addition's huge impact as Jett with the operator, or really any weapon you put in his hands, but also to the smart plays coming out of many players on the team, including the in-game leader FNS, who put off some miraculous plays of his own while guiding his team to 3 close maps despite a 3-0 loss in the grand final. With this showing from Envy and 100 Thieves, North America just got a lot spicier. Needless to say, we're excited about Champions and all the storylines heading into it. Hopefully this caught you up on some of those storylines, and if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of the esports scene in Valorant in particular, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.